Hi, babe. Welcome to the Horror Babe Show. I'm your host, Chelsea Beller. Have you ever been deeply curious to commune with the dead? What would they say? And how would they say it? There are a myriad of ways to communicate with the deceased, but the universal truth here is you probably shouldn't. Let's review Talk to Me. Before we get into that, here's a spooky reminder that you can support me here at the Horror Babe Show. You can leave me a tip on PayPal. You can join our Patreon and become a member and get early and bonus content. Also, I have a merch shop. Yeah, I know. And currently, for the month of, June, but June is gone, and July, I have Pride merch. So, dig into that. All right, back to me. There will be spoilers. Please be advised. Talk to Me is a 2023 supernatural horror film directed by Michael and Danny Philippou, starring Sophia Wilde, Alexandra Jensen, Joe Bird, and Miranda Otto. A group of teenagers gather to watch the unimaginable become real and viral. A petrified hand offers communication to the other side, and these teens can't resist. That is until it becomes too much to handle. I have wanted to watch this movie since I saw the trailer, and I wasn't able to watch it in theaters, but now it's available on Netflix. So you too can watch it at home if you have Netflix. I have this group of friends that we all live far apart, but we like to have these virtual watch parties every now and again. And basically we all put on the same movie and we text each other throughout. It's the little things, and it keeps us connected. But we decided to watch Talk to Me a couple nights ago, and I was like, this is worth talking about. I'm glad I watched this, but it was interesting because we all had a similar reaction. So let's talk about it. I thought this was great casting, and there were some really, truly incredible performances. I really enjoyed the camera work. The cinematography was rad. There were some wild shots and transitions, especially when they would commune with the dead and, become possessed by the dead. I really liked that camera work. But there's also this scene where Mia transitions from being on the side of the road to the hospital, and it feels very Shining to me. I really love the cinematography here. I felt like midway through the film, I wasn't able to guess what was going to happen one moment from the next. I really admire that in a horror movie because it's easy for a horror movie to feel predictable. Really, any movie, if you watch movies a lot. The hand is obviously akin to a Ouija board. I feel like if they had switched out the hand for a Ouija board, it would have been less visually interesting. Plus, the hand makes it so much more personal. I mean, you're literally holding hands with death. So I really liked the imagery of the hand. It was just so intriguing. Like I wanted to know more about the origin story of that. And they alluded to it a little bit, but it would be interesting to know if there was like a sequel in the works, or rather a prequel where they talk about the origin story of how that all came to be. Here's my critiques. Once I understood what the movie was about, I felt a little bored. It became clear very quickly that this movie was about addiction.
Is it an addiction?
Addiction hurts everyone around the addict, including the addict. And you kind of see the domino effect of that. The hand was a symbol of drugs or using. The teens felt euphoric after using it. They all saw something they wouldn't normally see. All things that sound like substance abuse, right? And then they were hesitant to get a kid involved. And then, of course, when the kid got involved, everything went off the rails. Everything went off the rails. I wouldn't say I normally lose interest in a film upon realizing what the film is about, but I think specifically with teen horror, this happens for me. I'm not sure if that's universal, so let me know if that's something you experience too. Oh, but about the kid brother, Riley, played by Joe Bird, his possession scenes, that was rough. That was rough. The gross factor here for me was pretty high, and it wasn't even like that messy per se. It was pretty messy, but it wasn't like, Evil Dead level of messy. However, I learned from watching the Argentinian film When Evil Lurks that I don't particularly like self-inflicted head trauma. That's not fun for me. God, those are really hard to watch for me. And I think it's just because no normal average person in their right mind would ever do that to themselves.
Hi, Editor Chelsea here. I realize I may have put my foot in my mouth. I realize there are people out there who might have a disability or condition that causes them to inflict harm on themselves. I'm not talking about this group of people whatsoever, and I mean absolutely no offense. So please understand I was strictly talking about seeing this take place in a horror movie. Thank you so much for understanding. Back to me.
So they have to be absolutely so far out of their body that some spirit or evil or demon has taken over and is now causing this to happen to themselves. And it's, I can't stand it. It's hard for me to watch. And I can watch a lot, but that in particular, I'm it's rough. It's rough. So, how would I rate this? Wonderful cinematography, great casting. It definitely falls under the category of teen horror for me, which I'm not against. It's just a different kind of horror, and it's not my preferred horror, which is fine. But for teen horror, I thought it was really well done. It was definitely a good story for what it was, but it wasn't exactly earth-shattering. I think out of 5, I'm giving this a 3.5. Overall, I'm really glad I gave this a watch. It was something that's been on my list for, I guess, 2 years now, which is crazy. I thought it came out last year. It was definitely fun. I'm glad I watched it. I wasn't supremely impressed by any one thing or the film in totality. I really want to know what you think about it, so tell me in the comments. How do you feel about this film? What would you rate it? Well, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, follow, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Letterboxd to see what I'm watching and what I'm rating. Bye, babe.